Welcome to the Masterpiece Effect, where we don't just chase success, we craft it. I'm Elnaj, self-leadership alchemist, Ironman finisher, and your guide on this unconventional journey to elite performance, legacy, and self-mastery. This is not your average personal development podcast. Here, we're questioning the narratives, dismantling limitations, and redefining what it means to lead yourself, your life, and your legacy. If you're ready to move beyond high achievement into intentional creation, you're in the right place. Let's begin crafting the ultimate masterpiece, you. We live in a world that glorifies the hustle. Push harder, work longer, grind. And yet, the highest performing leaders don't operate that way. They know that recovery is just as important as execution. They understand that longevity in success isn't about going all out. It's about knowing when to push and when to pull back. So today I'm going to challenge the way you think about performance. Because if you're always sprinting, you might be missing the key to true sustainable success. Now let me just start by being quite frank here. I used to love the push. I used to love the push so much that I believed recovery was not to my benefit. In fact, I used to tell my cycling coaches it was detrimental to my performance to give me recovery time. I believed that my body was designed to go full throttle 24/7, 365. Until one day when my coach proved me wrong and he made me hit the wall in a big way. It was spectacular. It was humiliating. I crawled back to the car with my tail between my legs, and that gave me the opportunity to really sit back and reassess how all of this is playing out. I love periodization. I love the principles of actually planning my time out and to see where do I build and where do I pull back and recuperate. Understanding that just as my body's muscles need to tear and then build and then recuperate, so does my mind, so does my emotions, so does my spirit. Because at the end of the day, our creativity becomes dulled when we are exhausted. So many leaders are going balls to the walls all of the time, and they are doing spectacular things in their companies. But the moment that I invite them to pull back and to start bringing in recovery, rest, which I have come to understand is the feminine principles harmonizing the masculine, their results 10x. Why? Because when we have a look at performance and we have a look at action, that is coming from the masculine paradigm. We set the goals, we make the plans, we have the strategies, we execute. This is how we are being raised and conditioned at this time, which is exactly why we have reached a time in humanity when the feminine is coming to the forefront, because people are getting burnt out. And more importantly, we're finding ourselves in a time when there is so much replication and regurgitation because people are losing their creativity, their originality, because quite frankly, they are too tired to be creative. The feminine, unlike the masculine, does not perform on command. She is not there for your entertainment. She will not bring through desires in a state of absolute depletion. She will sit back and she will allow you the space to do what you need to do until the day that you go, Oh, I want more than this. Actually, what do I want? Why am I even doing what I'm doing? It has lost its appeal. The hustle and the grind. What if there's something else out there available to me? And once you give yourself the opportunity to rest, what you will find is the feminine gets activated. Now, if the masculine and feminine concept is something that's new to you, I am not referring to men and women. I am referring to energetics and to the aspects, the characteristics that are different and complementary to each other. It is the reharmonizing of life and creative forces when we bring the feminine back to the masculine. When we are in a state of rest, our mind goes into the realm of imagination. And our imagination is what is in fact creating our life experience. Everything happens in the imagination first. But when we are constantly in hustle and grind mode, all we can do is replicate again and again and again. It is why things become automated. And it's why people are flatlining in their desire, in their excitement and their enjoyment of life. The feminine imagination is the realm of possibility. What else is possible? What else is possible for me? What else can I create that will be of interest to me and of benefit to others? What else can I create that will just be so much fun for my family to experience? The what? The deliciously new what is the realm of the feminine. And she exists in the times of restoration. So when really successful leaders start understanding these principles, that the more they rest, the more creative they become, the greater their ideas, the more energy there is for application and execution, the less you have to do, because what you start understanding is that the realm of the imagination also activates the realms of the universe with cooperative components that assist you in the co-creation of your desires. It might feel a little foreign and a little, but I have so much to do, Al. I don't have time to sit and try this out. And I get that. I honor that. I used to be there as well. But what are you losing out on by not giving yourself the opportunity to operate at your highest performance? And I'm going to put this to you as well. And this might sting a little bit. But hustling and grinding and working so hard all of the time to be the provider because you take responsibility for everybody else is in fact the most selfish thing to do. Because the people that you love, the people who love you, really get to experience you as your best version self. They get to experience you as your busy self, your productive self, your tired self, your frustrated self, your determined self, your committed self. But they don't get to experience you as your most vibrant self, playful self, creative self, worthy self. Where can you start bringing in recovery? Where can you bring in micro bits of recovery? even if it is during your day? And how can you start creating a rhythm of action followed by recovery and replenishment that works for you to ensure that you can sustain peak productivity, peak performance, peak enjoyment of your life? After all, this life is but an experience to be had. And if that experience is one of exhaustion, you're only robbing yourself, my friend, of everything else that is available and possible for you. Love to hear from you. How can you start implementing greater and greater amounts of rest, recovery, and restoration? And after you've tried it, come back and tell me, what is the results? How are you feeling? And what are you creating that has not been created before? That's it for today's episode of The Masterpiece Effect. But your transformation doesn't stop here. If something resonated, challenged you, or sparked a new insight, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts. Connect with me at alnash.com. And if you found value in this conversation, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because life's too short for mediocrity. Let's create a masterpiece. See you next time.